one of the things that, you know, some of our children, they say, well, we got to tax the rich for the poor. And I'm like, well, how do you determine rich?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what does that mean? Like,
some rich people would say, I'm not rich.
Exactly.
No, you're saying that because you are. And
Right.
you don't want to say that you are, but you are.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, how do you define rich? Is if you're only making $20,000 a year, like, well, I'm not rich. So somebody that's making $40,000 a year, double what you're making, are they rich? Or somebody that's making $40,000 a year and somebody else is making $80,000 a year, are they like? How do you? At what point do you start taxing?
Yeah.
So my question is, like, at what point do you feel like you need to wear
Versace?
Coming to you from 125 Carver in Waco, Texas, it's the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions are fun, real, and at times very uncomfortable. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to like and subscribe, and please ring the bell. Now, here are your hosts, Pastor Cello and Pastor Mia.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's Wednesday.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. It's Wednesday, and we are talking about what?
Wow, you never get into
Welcome
things
to our podcast.
Y'all, just so you know, his face looks sleepy because he's still sleepy. This 5 a.m. thing is really kicking his butt. I can say that. Waking up, time to make the burritos is making
Everything's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot going on.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So, welcome back to the podcast. It is Wednesday morning. It is the Wednesday after Resurrection Sunday. Yeah. Woo! Dude, we are learning sign language here at the church for one of our hangouts. And I have to show you this. I have to show everybody. This is the coolest sign ever. If you don't learn sign language, you have to know this one. Especially you guys in Tulsa that are listening, or even Kansas. You never know. But check this out. It's a tornado. Isn't that awesome? That's like awesome. You don't even know. While we were all in the class together, everybody could not stop doing it. And we were all like, oh, it's just the coolest thing ever. So I meant, sign language is a second language. So, hair flip. If you want to learn a second language, try sign language because it's really cool. And you can widen your community. That's what I love about it. And if you see somebody and you're like, well, how do I know if anybody's deaf? Trust me, you'll know. And then all you have to do is use a few signs to communicate.
Tornado.
Not all the fingers. No. 2 L's. Yep.
That's a small tornado. This is a hurricane.
No.
This is a big tornado. This is a bigger tornado.
A big tornado?
Big tornado. Tornado. Huge tornado.
That's okay. It's not a sign, so please stop.
This is a bigger tornado.
No one makes fun of your Native American language.
All the time.
You don't even speak it, so what does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Y'all, he is so sleepy.
They make fun of me when I speak in tongues.
No, we make fun of you when you make fun of other languages because you're really good at it.
Some of us have gifts.
And talents. Anyway, he's still sleepy, y'all. I am so sorry. He is going to wake up sometime today because I told him before we got on here last week, I slapped him in the hand. This week, I should probably slap him in the back of the head. Pink something. Or remember the commercial again with the frying pan, hits you in the face and wakes you up. You need to wake up.
I'm awake.
When?
Right now.
Okay, I have to tell you this little trick. I told somebody about it today. So, if you think somebody is watching you or looking at you, if you yawn and they yawn, they were watching you. It's really cool.
Now everybody's yawning.
Okay, well, catch up, guys. It's 5 a.m. All right. Somewhere. I don't know when. Anyway.
It's in the morning somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, we are talking about clothing today. I know it's not New Shirt Wednesday. We don't have new shirts on because We just were not in the mood, guys. We've been
Just
getting up.
Not in the mood. We've just been busy.
That's what I'm saying. We've been so busy and going to sleep so early so that we can
Active.
wake up
We've been
early.
active. We're not busy. We're active.
Oh, you're right. You're right. We've been active, and again, it just goes back to the message we sent to all of our kids. It said it's a TikTok, and it said I went from working a 9-to-5 job to working for myself 24 hours a day. Ah, so that's us. Welcome. Anyway, and we're back. So we're going to be talking about outfits today, and really not outfits, but talking about dress to impress. We actually saw this thing, and it was about a guy, and he was writing blogs about pastors who wear very expensive clothing. And the very expensive clothing just reminded us of something we had been talking about before. Remember, we were going somewhere. Okay, fine. We were going to go to a hibachi, and we were going for a birthday dinner, and I felt bad because we had been working that day, and I told my husband, we need to go home and change because I don't feel like we should go to this hibachi grill birthday party in these work clothes. And he was like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's a hibachi grill. You're supposed to be fancy. You're supposed
Never
to.
mind, it's a birthday party.
It's a birthday party at a hibachi grill. Okay. So I felt like we should dress up. And he was like, we don't have time. We're going to be late, which he's never worried about being late. So that just kind of was mind blowing anyway. And he was like, no, we don't want to do it. We're not going to do it. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And I felt so bad, y'all, because this man was looking really rough. Like,
if you know me, then you know me.
Yeah. And so I was just like, don't want to do it, hun. Don't want to do it. Oh, I was so mad. And we walk inside, and guess what? The people from the birthday party all have work clothes on. And everybody had come from work except for the birthday person. And I was like, oh, my bad. And so he said, I know you're just mad because I didn't dress up for you, but people know me and they know that I was at work. So you shouldn't feel bad for me. And it was a really big thing for me. And so, like me, I'm constantly saying, are you going to wear that? And I'm just like, I think you should change because I don't think you should go that. But I feel like my husband's like, listen, they know what I do. They know I'm a pastor. They know that I work for myself. So if they can't handle that, then I don't want, no, what did you say one time? I don't want to wear the fresh kicks and the fresh shirts and people think that I use the church's money to buy that. That's what you said. And we even said that on a podcast before. Remember that? Yep. Like, I got me some new kicks and it was your birthday. Remember that? And you were like, I don't want anybody to think that the church paid for it because the church didn't pay for it. I paid for it myself, type thing.
What? No, you're doing good. I'm listening.
Go ahead. You're sleepy. That's what it is.
No, I'm just, no, I have a lot to say about a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to refrain.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's that particular situation. You wanted me to dress up, and just because of the time and everything, I was like, man, I was tired. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to get dressed. If I go take a shower and change, I'm gonna want to change and lay down and go to sleep. But I think the way my dad always taught me, my mom and dad, I should say, always taught us was there's appropriate dress for appropriate occasions.
Okay. This was a birthday party.
It was a birthday party.
It was a birthday dinner.
It was a birthday dinner. It was a birthday party. Like, I get that. But at the same time, it's not against the law to work. It's not against the law to work. It's not against the law to look like you work or know that you came from work. I'm not trying to impress anybody. And what I shared with you, I was like, look, me showing up should mean more than how I'm dressed. Like, well, you should dress up because you're like, yeah, you're right. You probably, I could go home and take a shower and look fresh and clean. But I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like, they know me. If you, that's why I said, if you know me,
you know me.
You know me. Like, there was, I remember years ago, someone told me, like, man, I can't tell if you're the maintenance guy. I can't tell if you're a pastor, motivational speaker. Like, you dress so many different ways throughout the week. And it's basically just dressing
Today I'm the maintenance
today the
man.
maintenance guy, like you know,
On
like
Sundays I'm the pastor.
I remember one time we were working at the house, and me and my boys were out there working and shoveling some dirt and moving stuff around, and it was in the summer. The sun was going down, and man, all these cars were passing by because
Ours is a busy street.
we're busy street, but we
Yes.
have Heart
uh-huh,
Design right there, and so
Design.
all these cars are passing by, these high-end cars passing by, and I told my son, I said, the funny part about it is that they don't realize that we own this house. Because we didn't look like we owned that house.
Yeah, you look like
know,
the Mexicans
Like the
working
Mexicans
in the yard.
working on the
You were the
yard.
gardener?
We were the
Oh,
gardener
okay.
people working on the house. But a lot of times it's perception. So I think a lot of times we can get, especially within, especially within the church, we can get where we want to walk, look, sound, and appear blessed. So we wear everything, we display ourselves. We want people to know that we're blessed and highly favored. So we dress blessed and highly favored. And I think, not that it's a misconception, but I think it's not against the law to know that you work. It's not against the law to I don't feel like we should have to put a persona on who we are. The person that I'm getting wearing fresh kicks in a shirt is the same guy you're going to get while I'm
Shoveling dirt.
shoveling dirt covered in mud, and like this is where I'm at. And so for me, a lot of times, because I'm in that mode of working a lot, or working at the church, or working helping somebody, or doing a project, or side job hustle thing, whatever, it's easier for me just to have a change of clothes at the church if I'm going to meet somebody that I need to dress appropriately for a meeting.
What is
Then
appropriate?
Then I'll dress that way. But to just change because I'm going to a birthday party of a family member, I'm like, I love you, but I had a long day. I'm here celebrating with you, hanging out, and that's where we disagree.
You accept me where I am.
Accept me as I am, that Jesus does.
Tell me, what is appropriately?
I think appropriately.
And when does appropriately even matter?
It's a good question. I think it's a matter of opinion. I think it's a matter of perception.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Didn't mean to cut you off.
I think it is perception. I think it's about who we think, or who we're trying to impress at the situation or circumstances. Like why do we do what we do? Who are we trying to impress? What are we trying to get people to believe about us? I don't wear. You know me.
You don't wear Versace and
I don't-
Gucci.
I don't wear Versace, Gucci. I don't have to have the brand new fresh
You don't wear
shoes and
Supreme.
jeans. I'm not a Supreme. Like
He's really not a brand guy.
I'm not a brand guy.
Puma, maybe.
Puma and Levi's is probably I've tapped out. Like that's
Puma, Levi's.
Pumas and Levi's.
That's
Like
it.
that's it. Now I don't even wear Puma shirts. I just the shoes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not wearing Puma socks, Puma underwear, Puma undershirt. Like I'm not got the headband. Like you're not gonna find all that.
Yeah.
You'll find the shoes, but unless you know the label or the logo, you don't even realize that they're.
But you're
Pumas.
right. You're right. You're like that with your cereal too. You do wear only Levi's jeans and 501s, and you do only wear Puma shoes. Every once in a while, you'll wear your work boots and your dress shoes, but very rarely. You love the look of dress shoes, but you don't wear them.
I don't wear them as often. Not
Yeah.
as often as I used to.
Yeah.
And Levi's, they don't necessarily have to be 501s.
You're right.
I prefer 501s,
Yeah.
but they don't have to be. But
They could be 505s.
yeah, so like 506, 507. So for
And
me,
your
like
cereal's the same way.
that's where I peak out. Like that's it. Like I'm not, I'm not a brand kind of guy. Like I'm not trying to.
Okay. But others could say, well, you're not really dressing up just for yourself. You're dressing up for those that you care about. Because sometimes older people or those that were raised that way see that as a sign of respect for you to clean up and come that way. Even though that's not really who you are.
I mean, no, I believe in cleaning up and looking sharp when it's time to clean up and look sharp. Like
You don't believe that a birthday dinner was time to clean up and look sharp?
no,
Why not?
it's a birthday dinner. It was I don't know, birthday anniversary dinner. Like I came work clothes. Like if it had been like, hey, we're gonna get together, because it was during the week, it was during the work week. If it had said, hey, we're gonna get together, we're having a party, and we're gonna have this big thing.
Oh, because it didn't have the word party. Okay. Oh, I
I
was
go
gonna.
I go to birthday parties and I've dressed up.
But there
because of
are
the
birthday
events.
parties that you don't dress up
Yeah,
because they're
it's-
outside
they're
and you're going to be
events.
sweating.
Yeah, so I mean, like I dress accordingly. You know.
You did not dress accordingly this
Well,
time.
me and the people that showed up said so. Everybody that was there was in work clothes. Everybody came from work. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it didn't. Because, and I say appropriately, it was after work on a work day, during a week on a work day, immediately after work,
I didn't know
after
you were.
working hours. After working hours,
Okay.
and that's what I was doing. If I'd have just been dressed in the office, I'd have been working in the office that day. I would have just wore that as well.
Which is the same as your work clothes. You
Not
come in your work clothes to the office.
Not necessarily all the time. Not all the time. But it's just right now I'm in a season where I'm having to do a lot of manual labor.
Yes, that is
So
true.
that's
That
what
is
I'm wearing.
correct.
So
Okay.
but I do think that you should dress appropriately. I think you should have wedding attire. I think you should have funeral attire. I think you should have anniversary attire, event attire. You know, I'm dressed down. Matter of fact, the other day we did water baptisms, and I wore a polo shirt with a collar.
Whoa.
And I had a guy tell me, he was like, "Wow, you dressed up today." And I started laughing. I was like, "Yes, I did. I had to bring the collar out." You know,
Not the
the t-shirt.
professional collar, but the collar.
right? And so that I think to me that's just I'm not going to wear a t-shirt for that event. That's I'm showing honor and respect for those that are getting water baptized. Could I have dressed in a full on
Dress shirt.
dress shirt? Yeah, I could have, but we're not that kind of church, So that's not how I am, and so I think I just found a lot of liberty in these last 8-10 years on being comfortable of.
As you got older, it's fine.
Well, no,
It's fine.
I think I've gotten more comfortable being me as a pastor, as a leader, as a husband, as a father, and not trying to put
Dress to impress.
trust to impress or put myself in that role as a pastor. I'm the same guy. It's just an office that I hold, and so
I like that.
So I'm not really. I don't know. I've never been that way. I've never been that way really. When I was in ministry, I always try to uphold a higher standard. But what I realized is that sometimes it makes people feel uncomfortable when they're not able to meet the standard.
I know that as somebody's asked me that before, they were like, now that you're the first lady, you should wear first lady clothing. And I'm like, what's first lady
Well,
clothing?
why not? See, that's what I'm. See the face you're making. That's the face I make. Like,
listen.
don't be putting that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I meant I did at a time dress up, but I feel like, again, the same that you do. I feel like that if I dress up, I'll make people who don't have that kind of money. And I'm not saying that we don't know anybody's finances, so we don't know that, but I don't want anyone ever to feel like, that I'm trying to show out. I don't like that. We're not showing.
We're the standard.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
pastors of the church are the standard.
So we want them to be laxed. We want them to be comfortable. We don't expect suits and ties. And I remember a time where you were wearing a 3-piece suit.
I wouldn't say 3-piece suit.
Yes, it
I was
was.
wearing a suit.
it was a vest and a jacket and dress pants.
Every once in a while.
And you would be looking for them, and they were the flashier the better. I remember that. Babe, if you
20-something years ago.
Yes. It was a long time ago. Anyway, I don't know. I just thought that we'd talk about it because, this was an issue. And now that it's coming to light about pastors wearing the most expensive clothes that they can get, I always like for people to see that we are down to earth. We're not about that. We're not spending the church's money that way. And we're not, we're not a mega church and we're not trying to impress. We're not trying to dress to impress. But we do understand that there is an appropriate time for the different outfits.
Well, I think it's always been. I think pastors and church leadership. There's always been that tension between finances and how they're dressing. I think it's always been there. I think it's just more evident and more open now, just because of social media. People are saying things more often, and you read about it more often. But I don't know. I question it. When I see pastors wearing people in ministry,
Gucci and Versace.
Like I question. Do you really need to wear that? Like, well, I'm a man of God. Well, I'm not arguing that point, but I'm just saying, like, what do you as an individual, or what do we as an individual declare overspending, right? Like, so one of the things that, you know, some of our children, they say, you know, well, we got to tax the rich for the poor. And I'm like, how do you determine rich?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what does that mean? You know,
Yeah.
like, you wanna
Some
say-
rich people would say, I'm not rich.
Exactly.
No, you're saying that because you are. And
Right.
you don't want
Right,
to say
so-
that you are, but you
Well,
are.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, how do you define rich? Is if you're only making if you're only making 20,000 a year, like, well, I'm not rich. So somebody that's making 40,000 a year, double what you're making, are they rich? Or somebody that's making 40,000 a year and somebody else is making 80,000 a year, are they like?
Are they
How do you
rich? Yeah.
At what point do you start taxing?
Yeah.
So my question is, like, at what point do you feel like you need to wear
Versace,
Versace, what
Prada.
you know, whatever it is, like
What's another one?
whatever high end. I mean, it could be, I don't know. For some people, Polo's expensive.
Yeah.
You're like, man, that's an expensive brand, Polo.
Ray-Ban. Some
or,
people
you
would say
know,
that's not expensive.
Tommy Hilfiger, like that's you know, that could be an expensive. So everybody has their different levels. Like, you know, like some folks, man, they're only making enough to shop at Target and Walmart,
Yeah.
right? So when they see somebody, or I'm going to say they see a pastor wearing Tommy Hilfiger or wearing Polo, or, you know, something along those lines, they're like, oh my God, you know, like are they spending church money on Tommy Hilfiger? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of perspective, and I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things that we in leadership, we as believers, not just leadership, but we as believers, we have to understand that, like, the world judges people based off on what they wear, where they eat, where they
Mhm.
live,
Mhm.
and so in order for us to be more reachable and tangible to the people that we care about, we have to think about what we're wearing,
Yeah.
where we're going. You know, that's one of the reasons that we feed breakfast, because not everybody can afford to go out and eat breakfast. Not
Yeah.
everybody can go out to eat lunch.
Yeah.
You know, so the church pays for people to eat. I mean, people ask us, "Do y'all have a feeding program?" I say, "Absolutely."
We do on Sunday
we feed
morning.
every Sundays. We feed it every.
services.
We feed every meeting. We feed it on
Yeah.
Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you ain't visited us, come and eat, because we have food just about every time we have a meeting or a gathering. Because it takes a lot of money when you have 4 kids, 3 kids, you're a single mom with 2 or 3 kids, and the church is like, hey, we're going to go out here to eat after church. And they're like, I don't want to hang out with you, but I don't have any money.
Yeah.
Like, I can't spend that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm trying to keep my gas and light on. I'm trying to, you know, pay my insurance on my car. And so what does that do to that family? It
Yeah.
makes them feel like they're separate, like they're not good enough, or like they don't have enough, or maybe they're not trusting God. And like it just brings a bunch of baggage.
Mhm.
You know, and I think the same way happens with clothing. Like when you have clothing and you're not wearing, if they're best, if somebody shows up to church and they're ironed and pressed and their best clothing is what you use to dig a ditch, how does that make them feel? Right? And so I think yes, we should dress a little bit better when we come to church, but I think we also need to be mindful of the ones that don't have what we have, because to them we're rich, and they may not necessarily be. And so I think we have to be very mindful of on how we're dressing, our motives behind the way that we dress and where we work, and what we're wearing. And you know, you say dress to impress. To me, I just like look clean, look neat. Doesn't matter. I'm not looking for brands. I'm not looking for value. I'm looking for clean and neat. If you're clean and neat, man, I'm good. You know, like, you know, I don't have a problem with people coming to church with sandals on. Just make sure your feet are clean.
Well, they weren't. Their
I'm just
their
saying.
feet weren't clean back in the day. In
Well,
Jesus'
I
days.
understand that, but we have soap and water today, so make sure you.
Now you're making me mad, and you're starting to irritate me with that. So
I'm just saying that.
you're just saying what? What are you saying about?
I'm saying that you have to look at where you're going, right? Like, you're telling me, what she's telling me effectively is if my grandson walked in here with his smelly feet, that she wouldn't tell him anything.
I
Because
didn't say that. He's my grandson, but you said dirty feet. There's a difference
hold on.
between smelly and dirty.
I love my grandson, but my grandson's feet stink.
Okay,
And
but
they'd
mine
be
do
nasty,
too.
It'd be dirty.
Okay, mine do too. But
So you would walk around here with sneaky feet?
I would not.
Well, why not?
He's 10.
That's my point.
I'm almost 50. I'll be 50 this year.
That's my point.
Okay, it's a learned behavior. That's another podcast for another day. Let me just sum it up this way, okay? We're just gonna stop right there before he gets himself in trouble. So,
We're used to that on this show.
are we? Okay. I will say this. Let me just fix it for all of you. I love to thrift shop. Thrift stores find me when I go to another city. I promise you.
I like thrift shopping. with
Thank you. Thank you. See,
Most of our wardrobe is probably thrift shop
I know.
clothes.
That's what I'm
Almost all of it.
saying. So you guys that think that we're all fancy because it was New Shirt Wednesday, y'all, those were Walmart T-shirts that I made. So anyway, just saying all that to say that we're down to earth. We're not fancy. We're not, going out and popping tags and doing whatever it takes. We are down to earth people. And like he said, like my son-in-law said, listen, I will give you the shirt off of someone else's back. Okay?
Even if you're wearing it.
Even if you're wearing it. I am a giver and I will give. And I love thrifting. Will I give you something thrifted? Yes, if I think about you and I see it and I know that it's your size, I'm going to buy it for you because I love to thrift. So, saying all that to say that we are down to earth people and we are not flashy or classy or bougie or whatever the word is that you want to say for that. And we ain't out here spending church's money. And I'm not saying that we're not favored by God and that we're not blessed by God, but we're not going around saying, look what God blessed me with,
It's how we choose to represent.
Yes.
That's really what it is.
We just feel like dress to impress is a little outside of not fake, but not real.
I think it's you can dress to impress, but that's what I'm saying. Clean and neat. If you're neat and clean, you can.
I know, but I'm just saying you shouldn't put on this persona and this falsehood of who you really are, and that's what we strive to not do. We strive to be true and honest and genuine with who we are. So I'm not here with nails all did up and my
we
hair.
might go to Target, but we go to the thrift shop.
We go to Target, okay?
Target.
I'm just kidding.
We hit up thrift shops. We do. We
Like, love it, and we love the finds we find. And I'm not saying that's all we buy. It's just that's
the majority.
Yeah, the majority. And me, I am a big proponent of recycling.
Most of the stuff that you and I get, most of the clothing that we get that's new, is usually bought for us.
Yeah, you're right.
We might buy one or two things in a year.
Yeah, but I might squeal if I do that because I'm just like, I don't know if I wanted to spend that.
Because we do a lot of thrift shopping, so a lot of things that.
Let me just say it this way: I would rather buy someone else something brand new than myself.
All right, kind of.
That's how we are.
Aside from my Pumas and my cool T-shirts that I get every once in a while.
Right.
But.
Yeah, and not saying that to be boastful at all. I just wanted you to know where we were coming from. We are not about the dress to impress scene. Therefore, you will not see us pastors wearing Versace or Gucci or anything like that unless it's given to us or we found it at a thrift store. So calm down, okay? All right. Anyway, we just thought we'd talk about that because that's a big topic right now in the
churches.
In the churches. Yeah, they're trying to
come
under fire.
It's always been a big deal.
Yeah, but now it's like at the forefront, and they're trying to come down on
again.
people. Yeah, again, right? So anyway, we're just talking about it, and I hope that helped you see where we are and helped you to think about when you're out there dressing and dressing to impress.
And it's not wrong to like nice things.
That's right. It's not. And what do they always say? Money is evil. No. The love of money, not money itself. Money can do lots of things for the kingdom. So don't start saying money's bad. Pastor Cello and Pastor Mia said that. We didn't say that.
Nope.
We didn't say that at all. Anyway, we love you guys. Thank you so much for sitting in our chats, and we're gonna go have a great talking to. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. We'll see you guys. Holla, y'all.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineering provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.